What fee is without a doubt a 100% money grab extortion that companies are charging. I'm charged a fee every time I put money in my kid's school lunch account. It wouldn't be a big deal if I can put in the total amount she's going to need for the year, but they limit the max you can contribute to like $150 at a time, so I have to do this a few times a school year if she didn't bring her lunch half the time. My wife showed a cop her proof of insurance when she was pulled over. He told her it was good, but here's a piece of paper she has to send into some office. I look at the piece of paper when she gets home, and it's a ticket for not having insurance. She didn't recognize it because despite driving for over 10 years, she's never gotten a ticket. We send in proof of insurance exactly the way the form asks us to, and it says we don't have to go to court if they accept the proof. And what we get back is a failure to appear notice. We had no idea they didn't accept it because they have no phones at that court due to cutbacks and you cannot call them. We show up in person, and they say it wasn't accepted because it had the wrong dates on it. We look at it and show it to them and they agree that that does have the correct dates on it as well as the one we sent in. But that since it wasn't accepted we have to go to court and tell a judge that. My wife goes to a judge. He dismisses her case. She walks into the next room and is told she has to pay the $50 case dismissal fee. The fee to pay a speeding ticket. I'm not talking about the price of the ticket, but the fee to be able to pay the ticket. Seriously, when I went to pay a parking ticket I got in my city, the clerk was like, "I'm sorry, we only take cash and money." Order. They gave me a look when I said, "Really? That's pretty shady. Sounds like something a drug dealer would do." The convenience fee of being able to print my tickets at home. Sorry, I'm saving you from having to hire someone to put tickets in envelopes and preventing you having to pay shipping charges. Bell Canada, big phone company here, was charging $2.80 more for using a touch-tone phone right up until last year. In fact, maybe they still are. Rotary phone customers are exempt, but when was the last time you saw a rotary phone? There's about 13 million households in Canada. If half of those have a Bell landline, pretty reasonable since they're the only POTS provider. That's $218 million per year in what's basically pure profit. Until recently, Robulus charged $5 for call display on cell phones. Since caller information is standard part of the cell protocol, they were actually filtering out this information if you didn't pay their scam fee. Being charged extra to have my bank statements delivered by email instead of an envelope, and then being told we no longer make that service available when I asked to go back to paper to save the fee. I plead first offender on a felony drug charge, finished my probation and all the terms of it. It was removed from my record. My mugshot was still online. One website removed it after providing proof of the charge being dismissed. A different website wanted $450 to remove it. That may not exactly be what you're looking for, but I think that's extortion. I used to be a travel agent. The thing about being a travel agent at that time is you'd figure out what the cost of the ticket, hotel, etc. was that the customer was interested in, and then you could sell it to them for as much as you think they'll pay. Then you get your commission out of this profit. The way the computer system worked though, you'd have to enter this surplus as a thing coded as PMU, which stood for price markup. Usually you'd package this with the whole thing on the receipt, but occasionally you'd forget and have customers ask, "Why am I paying $200 for this? What's PMU?" And you could either lie or tell them the truth that it represented a value you had estimated you'd be able to con out of them. In that case, you're at least providing a service for the money. The fact that it's how much you think they'll pay rather than a flat rate or at least known percentage is pretty shady, though. Letting agency fees. My so and I just rented a flat together. In addition to security deposit and rent, we were charged £350 referencing fee, £100 admin fee, £200 tenancy agreement fee. Grasping bastards, spivs and scumbags in an industry which is the definition of parasitic. Keep an eye out for renewal fees, they're fun too. Seat reservation fee on a plane. It does not cost them any extra to put two people who book together next to each other, but they will try and charge £25 anyway. DVR service fees. Why is nobody else complaining about this ridiculous fee? There's no service being provided here. It's a function of equipment. VCRs do the same exact thing, albeit they record on a different media. So why aren't people screaming about the absurdity of this? Convenience fee when buying tickets online. If anything, buying them online and printing them is saving the company money. The one that really takes the pee is when there's a booking fee added, then an additional delivery fee, even though all they're delivering is an email for you to print yourself. There's a toll road in Illinois that doesn't accept credit cards. They let you buy if you don't have the cash and say just pay it online or you will get a fine. But if you don't set the toll booth that you passed exactly right, you will get hit with a non-payment fee even if you overpaid. Illinois tollways fricked me out of $100 when my transponder crapped the bed. They sent me a bill. I disputed it, did everything they asked me to, and they were like, frick you, pay me anyways. I am leaving Illinois ASAP. We're in here talking about bulls fees. You'll need to come try to move through each day in Chicago without getting fat skimmed by rich cocksuckers all day. Well, the Newfoundland government just set up a levy tax for the province in Canada. Now families have to pay $600-900 per income annually just for living here, as a method of driving the province out of debt. That feels like a method to drive people out of the province instead of driving the province out of debt. When I'm paying for the remainder of my college for that year, there's a convenience fee of $3. It's either that or I pull $500 out of my account in cash to hand to them. Also ATM fees. The modem fee for cable companies. I'm using your service, paying too much money for garbage service, and you still want to make me rent a modem from your company. I mean, I don't even get the common courtesy of a reach around. If any company says free, they are conning you. The price is just added somewhere else in the bill, and something is made more expensive to make up for that free thing. Exactly. I work in e-commerce selling heavy equipment and medical furniture. Everything on our website is marked free shipping, but the customer doesn't see price breakdown. It's definitely costing you to ship. That said, the difference between conversions when a product is marked free shipping and when it's not, even if the ultimate price is identical, is insane. It definitely has an impact. Unlimited transaction fee. Why do I have to pay you to be able to access my money more than 5 times a month? Does the ATM cost that much to operate? You are legally only allowed to withdraw from a savings account 6 times a month due to money laundering concerns. If you are withdrawing cash from your savings account that much, you need a checking account, not a savings account. Minimum balance fees for your bank account. They are giving me like 0.1% interest. But if I don't maintain a minimum balance they bang me $10 a month. The frick is that crap? Overdraft fees, especially on small amounts of money. Being poor, when my account was overdrafted by $0.86 then hit with a 36.00 fee, I couldn't exactly pay it immediately. I was then charged another 20.00 for having my bank account overdrawn for 10 days. So because I thought I had 1.00 more than I did, I was charged $56.86. It's expensive to be poor. It's popular these days for hotels to charge resort fees, which are essentially fees for things that used to be included when staying in hotels, like the gym, coffee maker, newspaper, etc. I don't mind paying for that stuff, but build it into the cost of the room. Hate getting nickeled and dimed. I don't care if someone said it already. Frick Ticketmaster's $10 service fee. If you buy 3 tickets to concert, you would expect 1 service fee, right? Huh, yeah, you thought, frick boy. That's 3 service fees for you. Frick you Ticketmaster. To pay parking tickets, traffic tickets online, they charge you $3 in administrative fees. At my college, University Ohio State, they charge a fee of 10% when you pay your tuition online as opposed to directly at fees and deposits. When tuition costs $3,000 it pisses me off they would make you pay an extra $300. That's half a college student's paycheck. Only if you use a credit card. If you use a digital check, essentially debit, but using your routing act number instead of a card number, you don't pay the percentage fee. Source: attended OSU. Paid tuition online. Getting charged extra money for caller ID. It costs them nothing to display the names and they hide them if you don't pay them for it. It actually involves work to hide them instead of showing them. of banks that charge a fee for not having a certain amount of money in the account, or in my case, I must have $2,000 a month in direct deposits or else I get charged $15. I just got this fee for the first time since opening the account in December. My paychecks amount to about $1,500 a month in direct deposits. It's like a tax for not making enough money. It's not a high yield account or anything, but it's just a standard checking account. I will be making a trip to visit them in person and find out what's going on, because the bank manager told me I wouldn't get charged when I opened the new account. Bought a $1 bag of dollars on Monday, a $10 home pregnancy kit on Tuesday, and a $35 immersion blender on Wednesday. All unrelated of course, and all on my debit card. Whoops, I only had $34 in the bank. Guess I'm going to overdraft on the $35 blender. Too bad. Nope. The bank deliberately reorders the transactions from largest amount to smallest, so I overdraft on the blender first, then the $10 kit, then the $1 bag, and slaps me with 3 overdraft fees. Fuel surcharges on flights. They were implemented a few years ago when oil prices were sky high, and haven't budged or changed ever since oil has bottomed out in the past year or so. The fact that airline ticket prices haven't changed is definitely a money grab in my opinion. To be fair, some of them could still have unexpired futures hedges on the fuel from before. Corkage fees. For my wedding I had 2 catering companies explain that if we provided our own alcohol, we would need to pay this county mandated fee, but if we bought the alcohol through them they would absorb the cost. Interestingly, one company charged $250 and one company charged $400, even though we're all in the same county. The caterer we are going with looked at me in confusion. The county only charges a fee if you're selling alcohol. It's an open bar, right? Yeah buddy. And the other caterers were well aware of that. I know corkage fees are pretty typical and it's a valid way for catering companies to try and convince you to spend more money through them. Buy our booze, save $400, but maybe don't make up a lie to justify it. The increase in rate when you have to use your car insurance. Oh, you've been paying us $sign a month for 10 years and finally need to actually use it? Well, now we're increasing the rate you're going to pay because you actually used what you've been paying for this entire time. Just got pinged by an admin fee at the gym. Friend told me that he said he wasn't going to pay it and they took it off his bill. The extra tax that is now being charged in the state of California to own a no contract, prepaid cell phone. I wouldn't care if it was less than $1 on my bill, but we're talking $5 a month on top of my regular bill. It's a biased tax that aimed at forcing people to get contract plans. In the UK, candidates must take the BPTC, Bar Professional Training course, to become a barrister. It costs £17,000 in fees alone, not including books and living expenses. Of those who take it, only 40% have a chance of becoming a barrister. The entrance standards are so low that you don't even have to be fluent in English. It's a state-sanctioned, money-grabbing monopoly. My friend was taking a bar exam in the UK and early into it he became very ill and had to be escorted out. I can't remember the exact cost, but it was over £500 to sit the exam. The people who run the exam emailed him to express their sympathy and ask if he was okay, and also to inform him that he will be required to repay the exam fee to sit the exam again. In what freaking universe does it cost an airline anywhere within an order of magnitude of $200 to switch me onto a different flight? The $70 fee I just had to pay to submit my application for graduation, that was one single-sided page. It doesn't go to a cap and gown, just a processing fee for someone to look at the paper and make sure I indeed took the courses. Application fees. Especially when it's attached to a rental property, they can charge you and still turn you away. Good times. Processing fees. Things are so automated that there's no way it takes an additional $8.95 to enter my data into a computer. Inactivity fee on checking accounts. WTF is that bullcrap? I keep my money with them and they charge me a fee for being the easiest goddamn customer they've ever had. Facility resort fee at hotels. This has been implemented to make up for the loss of revenue from movies and calls. It's only charged at the end of your stay, so it does not figure into the price when you are looking for the best value before booking. My university charges $50 to get your diploma when you graduate, because apparently 4 years of the actual tuition isn't enough. Pretty much anything listed as an admin fee. I agree that admin needs to be done, but in a business model it should be dissolved in the cost of your product. The 9/11 security fee charged on plane tickets. It's been 15 years. People might as well put a Pearl Harbor security fee on cruise ship tickets. Cake fees. My best friend and his wife got married recently, so we heard all about their various planning woes. The one that really took the cake, was the wedding cake date reservation fee. What's that, you may ask? It's a $50 fee that you have to pay when you order the wedding cake. What the fee does is it ensures that your cake is the first priority when the bakers get into the bakery the morning of your wedding. What happens if you refuse the fee? The bakery will deliver your cake, but they can't and won't guarantee that they will deliver it by the day of the wedding. Let that sink in. You have to pay a fee to make sure that the $400 wedding cake you just ordered actually arrives on the day of your wedding. Who doesn't need their wedding cake on a specific day? In fact, who has ever ordered a cake of any kind and said, "Oh, I need this next Monday or Tuesday or whenever you get around to it"? Number. A decorated cake is time-sensitive food. How did my friend's wife deal with this balls? She took their cake design, cancelled their order, and baked and decorated the thing her own dang self for her own wedding. And even though she was busy that day, she didn't need a bonus payment to finish a goddamn wedding cake on the day of the goddamn wedding. Some of the fees on prepaid cards should be illegal. I've seen cards that charge anywhere from $0.25 to $1 per transaction. This tends to be up to a certain amount a month for some. For others it has no limit. What's the point in getting a card if I've got to shell out money just to use it, in addition to the monthly fee? My sister had a card that charged $0.50 to check the balance through the automated system if you called, but it was free to text the system for the balance. What's great is some employers try their absolute best to make sure that people have to use those cards. Walmart is one I know of where you have to fight tooth and nail to get a paper check over a fee-ridden card if you don't opt in for direct deposit. Paying extra money specifically for HD service on cable or satellite. It's 2016. This should just be considered normal TV. Text messaging. SMS messages are piggybacked off information that is already constantly being sent to your phone. It literally costs phone companies nothing to provide this service, but they build those charges into your plan anyway. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.